So tell us about the business. Introduce us to the business.
Basically, the business is a family business from over now 20 years ago. They started on the north of Lisbon with some very small greenhouses, like 2 hectares of growing beef for the domestic market. In terms of
oh wow.
yeah. Yeah, in terms of the develops, they were quite successful because they really bet on taste and tried to make a difference of having a presentation in terms of product which actually wowed people up.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a grower which actually started in, and the aim was to actually be flavor on taste, on everything like that.
Can I just interrupt you? I was so naive about this. I didn't realise that all of you are so passionate about taste. There's a lovely chap in the UK, Richard Diplock.
Yeah, I know him.
And
dear friend of Richard. Yeah.
And Richard will probably remember
we
this.
did work together.
So 2-3 years ago, I was doing a broadcast with him, and he said, I asked him the question, how can we get kids to enjoy more fresh produce, more tomatoes? And he sort of stopped me and he said, taste. As soon as a young person eats, Max, you can just see it in their eyes. They love the taste. And once you got them for. So that's brilliant. That you and all your colleagues have majored on that, the flavour, the taste.
The owner is completely passionate about it, and actually, to be fair, then it grew really from there and it became quite successful. We started doing domestic markets, starting growing up, another product, and actually by now we are a business which is around 60 million euros.
Wow.
About 80 hectares of greenhouses on different sort of locations.
Okay.
And also we are a little bit different from the rest because we actually use heating.
Okay.
So more than half of our growing area we can actually use a form of heating, either with natural gas, or with the bones from the olives.
Okay.
So biomass.
Yeah.
We can actually heat the greenhouses.
Okay.
By now, the site you are seeing is basically where we have the office on the south of Portugal.
Yeah.
Which is called Hortipor Almograve.
Yeah.
This is a greenhouse which have basically 10 hectares.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's quite a big structure. Multi-tunnels, different types of products. On this case, it's going to be plum tomatoes.
Yeah.
And the aim for this is Portugal, Spain now.
Right.
Which we are quite a good player now, quite a big player in terms of.
Okay, so you look to serve the domestic markets of Portugal, and have you ever looked at other European markets? Have you ever looked at the UK?
Yeah, we did look at the UK. We during some stage as well, because we still grow organic product. We actually had programs with companies like Eosta to supply the German market, the Dutch market, and inclusive as well, something like the Scandinavian market as well.
Yeah.
But in terms of logistics, it's quite complicated. Whether we want it or not, Portugal is quite far away.
Yeah.
We still need to go across the whole of Spain.
Okay. So that puts you at a disadvantage in respect of haulage costs and insurance
and it puts us a little bit in terms of disadvantage because Portugal doesn't have a lot of players exporting, which is different from Spain.
Okay.
So our advantage, on the other hand, it's the seasonality that we can reach. So why are we here? Why this location? This location is quite fresh. In the summer we can have 26, 27 degrees as some of the high temperatures on the summer. And in contrast, on the same time, if you go to Spain, the growing areas, the equal growing areas, you'll probably have 32, 35. Yeah. So they couldn't go the quality that we actually can do here. So our niche market actually becomes then when Spain cannot produce a lot, then we can. Yeah. And whether we want it or not, Portugal and Spain are very much a touristic country.
Yep.
So we're only 10 million, but effectively in the summer we become 20 million.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And anyone which is visitors, what does he want? He wants beach, he wants fish, he wants to drink, of course, salads.
Yeah.
And
food.
Yeah, and boom. So in Spain happens exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
There's 60 million, but they become over 100 million.
Yeah.
So there's the potential market here to actually grow quite a lot.
So here's the question: when we're stood here in 10 years' time with a bunch of newer motorbikes outside, how will the business look then? And who will you be serving then? Do you think? What's the future?
I think we still have quite a lot of space to grow. Because we need to start from the base of the customer, effectively training them and to like tomatoes, to like fresh product, to like the healthy. The message of healthy has become very strong, which for us is an advantage.
Yeah. But is that your job to promote, or is that the retailers, or is that a combination of?
I think it's got to be a combination of.
Okay.
And unfortunately, sometimes the retailers they don't let us actually also interfere, because effectively it's their business. If in that case, but I think it's you have to be together.
But I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because you're not making the margin of Coca-Cola. At every can of Coke, 24% of that is that margin is spent on marketing, and our sector can't afford that. But to have that collaboration with the retailer, to understand that what you're growing here is premium, amazing, tasty product that the consumers will want and want more, and they will buy more. So that's going to be good for the retailer, because the people will then buy more fish and more white wine or whatever. But we need to get this call out to the retailers to do more with you, to collaborate more with you, so we can get this message out about. And in the last week or so in the UK, there's been a lot of talk about the negativity of ultra processed foods, how that is so bad, and this is so good.
So good.
But how? Yeah. But there's a comment. That's a question. How can we shout about you more? And how can we get this word out that what you're growing here is amazing and is so good for health?
Yeah. I think it's difficult, because it is what we need in terms of message, but we need to the retailer effectively to actually also let them help, because they do know a lot about their business, of course, but in terms of finding what people want, how much they want to pay, what's the limit, what is that. But in terms of the taste, in terms of the food, the message, how to prepare it, all of that, it's actually something that we know more of. Yeah. So we can have a play in that, I think.
Yeah. So
our role.
So you'd be okay if a retailer that you haven't worked with before, on the back of this, requested to come and have a visit, and for you to make up some meals, some produce. Get them to bring their development chef down, get them to bring down their MPD people. So it's all about collaboration.
Okay. It's all about collaboration. The owner of the company is very passionate about food. He does like to eat, he does like to taste it, and he passes that message across quite a lot. That he's one of the persons who actually selects the varieties, for example. All the varieties that we have, all have to go by him first.
Really?
All of them.
Oh, that's amazing.
All of them.
So I've got this view of this big kitchen table of a taste panel, like a taste panel of. Oh.
No. He goes around and we go to the seed houses and effectively the first filter is actually the owner of the company, which is quite nice. Quite nice. He's still a young guy. He's only 51.
So I'm saying this quietly, rather than a big monosyllabic investment company that's all looking at the bottom right hand corner of the Excel spreadsheet and it's all about money. Yes, you've got to make money to invest, but I get this feeling that there's this passion through all of you, from the owner all the way through, for you to grow amazing fresh produce and do good on the back of it.
Correct, absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yeah. The big challenge to us effectively now is that's actually more in terms of the labor, to actually bring new people, new technical people actually into the business.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's, I think, is a challenge that all the colleagues around Europe.
But come on,
we need to attract them.
But within 2 years, we'll be here, and there'll be robots running up and down, picking up a thing. It'd be easy. You'd be sat in your office, drinking a cappuccino.
Won't happen. That's what.
And I agree with you. Tell everyone why.
Yeah, well, I think the care of a machine is different from the care of the hands of people. I think we need It's impossible. It's impossible. It's going to be possible to do things like an olive tree or something like that, but a tomato, a high quality tomato, no. I don't believe it.
So are you optimistic about the future? Are you optimistic about this sector? You think it's going in the right direction? But okay, well, we sort of covered it. That the marketing and collaboration. Is there anything more that you think could assist you, your colleagues?
I think in terms of the sector, Europe have done a mistake. We have put too stronger boundaries in a lot of things, and we don't measure things equally, effectively. So we have limited ourselves in terms of the growing, in terms of what we can use, what we cannot use, the rules, the labor. All of that is very, very tight, which is fine. But we have allowed that there is the possibility to go and actually outsource on a cheaper, on different rules, and actually have product next to ours. So that really pushes prices down, so that we're not comparing like we like. We need to be fairer. So that's more of a politician work than anything else. I think also another thing is the image that, especially here on the southern Portugal and Spain, I think that the farmers are not looked by some of the younger generations as good people and people that want to have a future and are preserving the environment. We need to change that. We need to change that because we're not abusing water. We're not wasting water. We are the most careful people with water. Is a grower.
But again, it's how. Again, it's a comment, not a question. It's how do we get that message out? Because it just needs one false story coming out from someone uninformed, saying something bad, and then it's sort of 20 years worth of work going, oh damn. It's how you control that message, how you control that narrative. It's a difficult one.
It's a very difficult one. There have to be different rules in terms of the internet, what you can actually type, and more responsibility of the people who actually typed it.
There's a whole promotional piece there about fresh produce that we need to do more. I'm so impressed with it. It's just the question I love to ask: what's your favourite fresh produce?
It's actually tomatoes. It's actually tomatoes. I think it's such a wide range, colors, shapes, flavors. I think it's unbelievable. Yeah, it really is.
Growing wise, could you explain what these delightful plants are here and what they do? Because even I can tell that they are not a derivative of the tomato variety.
No. Basically, we do use a lot nature to our advantage, and some of these plants are specific for attracting some insects, and this one particularly, which is called Lobularia maritima, is a specific plant which actually gives energy to the bees. So you're familiar with, you shouldn't do publicity here, but the example goes better that way. You're familiar with Red Bull? The drink, the energetic. So this is kind of like the Red Bull for the bees.
Okay.
So they can actually, sometimes they're tired, they come in, they have a sip, and they actually do their job even better.
Wow.
So we're actually taking care of the bees also with this sort of plant. But some of the plants that we also have here are more to do with pests and diseases and insects that actually can help us out.
Okay.
Even natural ones that actually are coming in.
Okay, so I get the Red Bull for the bees. With these guys looking to attract the bad insects, is that beneficial to you?
Bad and good. We have species, for example, this species is one that we actually use to attract one of the natural insects which is outside, attracted to the inside, and extremely powerful to actually help us out controlling things like tuta absoluta, controlling whitefly. there's quite a lot of things that actually you can do. Is a multi-feeder. This insect that we actually are talking about. So yeah.
So environmentally, the way that you grow, that is, I'm putting words in your mouth, but that's a key element of and this
absolutely.
is, and you major on this. Okay.
Absolutely. I think in terms of also the safety, I think long are gone the days where you think of a crop and taking care of a big area like this, and you think in terms of pesticides. It's no longer like that. We would not be able to have a good tasty product effectively if we use a lot of chemicals. And on top of that, actually, I'm not sure if a lot of people know about it, but in terms of the tomato plant doesn't like to be watered on the top. So just the effect of actually spraying with something it affects the reaction that the plant do, and then the taste will be worse.
Okay.
So there's also an advantage on that respect to actually use insects which are beneficial, taking care of the accounts of the insects and making sure that we have the good guys fighting the bad guys, using physical means like sticky traps or pheromones or sexual disorientations for the insect base. It's a huge tool. It's a huge tool for us. Essentially.
And this is why I get frustrated for you, as we were saying earlier, that as you're intimating, the younger generation don't understand the amount of time and effort that goes into growing tomatoes, and that you're so environmentally conscious.
Yeah. In terms of, not only in terms of the use of the water, but also in terms of the delivering a product that we know it's going to be healthy and it's completely clean and doesn't have paint because of something else. So yeah.
And there you go, everyone. Red Bull for bees. Bunch of folk. And what's my instant takeaway from Jose about that? It's all about taste, it's all about flavour. So they're growing for specific premium markets that want